Getting yourself set up in the Philippines for a long-term stay can be a difficult task. There are a lot of variables that come into play. So today, in this video, I'm going to show you guys the steps that I took personally to get set up comfortably for sustainable living here in the Philippines long-term. Stay tuned, guys. This should be a very informative one. So before we continue, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share, and comment. Drop a comment. I am very approachable and I will answer all of your questions. You can also follow me on TikTok. My TikTok name is Learning to Be Filipino. You could see an in-depth version of me and my life here in the Philippines. Now, this is gonna vary depending on the person and what they want to subject themselves to as far as living situation. Now, if you live in the city, you're gonna be more modern. You might even have a condominium somewhere in the city. It's gonna cost you a bit more money, but it's more convenient for you with transportation and everything else that comes with living in the city. Also, you have a lot of access to different foods, fast foods, and supermarkets. So that is a convenience for you. But living in the city comes with a sacrifice, and that sacrifice is the cost of living. On average, the city will cost you a bit higher versus the province. So for me, I would prefer province. Check out the province first. It'll be something much more different than you experience back home. You know, the people, the simple living, and just the culture, it's a bit more different than the city. So the first step of getting set up in the Philippines is very important. The first step would be securing a place to extend your visa. So extending your visa is the most important thing you must consider when living long-term in the Philippines. Now, there are a few options here. You can opt to live somewhere where they have immigration offices, or there are even some travel agencies that do business with the immigration offices, and you don't have to travel and wait in big lines at the immigration office. You can just drop your passport off at one of these travel agencies that offer visa extensions, and yeah, I think it's much easier. I live on a small island, and yeah, I used to travel all the way to the city. It would take me a day. I found out there was a travel agency that would actually do it for me. It would take about a day or so for me to get my passport back. It was so convenient. So the most important thing for you to consider when setting yourself up to live in the Philippines is making sure you can find someplace close to extend your visa, whether that be the immigration office or a travel agency that extends tourist visas. So if you plan on staying more than a year here, then I recommend you to buy transportation. The transportation here can be crowded. It can be slow. There's a lot of traffic, and there's nothing better than owning your own motorcycle here or scooter to get you through the traffic. The traffic here can be brutal sometimes, especially if you live in the city. But if you live in the province, transportation can be slow. Transportation can be full, and although it's cheap, you might want to just own your own form of transportation and go to the store whenever you want, come back. You know, it's so much more convenient. So I recommend you to spend about $400 to $500 US dollars on a used cheap motor. You can get repos from a place called Do Exam or MCore. These are small little dealerships that offer, you know, electronics, TVs, and they offer motors and specials, repos, and they come at a lower price, than the newer ones. So my number two would be getting yourself a sustainable transportation. So this next one is super important. Where are you going to live? Are you going to be in the city? Are you going to be in a condominium? Are you going to be in an apartment complex, or are you going to rent a house? So if you rent a house in the province, the most important thing for you, especially if you work online and you need your surroundings to be quiet, there are tons of dogs out here in the province, and at night they tend to bark a lot. So for me, I work online and I have to face people sometimes. So me choosing a place where it's nice and quiet and the people can, you know, respect the fact that I work online is something that was very important to me. And once I found that, I stayed there, and I'm still there to this day. So finding a place where it's quiet, no dog, not a lot of parties, because you come here and Filipinos, you're going to hear a lot of parties and fiestas, karaoke, and you know, the people here like to have fun. But if you can find some place that is going to be quiet enough for you to sustain your work, or some place where you can continue to work in peace without any commotion, that would be awesome. So my number three recommendation is finding a place to where it is quiet. Preferably the owner should be a little bit older or retired. That's what I recommend for you. The next one is so important because you couldn't sustain yourself working and doing the things that you do back home without internet. So the internet connection is very tricky here. You can get yourself a fiber, something that is a wired in connected service directly to your apartment for as little as, $40, $35 to $40. You can go to the local office. You got things like PLDT, you got Converge, and you got Globe at Home. For me, what's worked best is PLDT. How do you get connected with the service? Is two different ways. You can have your Filipina or Filipino friend apply for you, and they just have to send in a few documents, and that's it. They come to your house. A few days later, they install your connection. Boom, done. But if you're a foreigner, you must have an ACR card to be eligible to have your own connection by yourself, and you must put a 6-month deposit down in order to secure your connection. Another thing I recommend is choosing a place where it has a lot of options for fresh food. You don't want to come from a city or the West to have access to all of these fast foods. You want to have access to fresh foods. You're going to come here and it's going to be kind of like a detox. You're going to detox your brain from all the Western junk that you've been witnessing and all of the personalities out there and all the crap food that you'll be eating out there in the Western part of the world. But here you can really eat like a king and for very cheap. So I recommend for you to live a sustainable life, also that includes health, that would be to go somewhere where they are known to grow locally, to grow the fruits and vegetables locally. Maybe they even catch their fish locally. These are the steps that I took to be sustainable, to live a sustainable life here in the Philippines. And obviously, guys, don't be shy to make friends with the Filipinos here. Man, I'm telling you, these people are so helpful. I have so many friends. I couldn't stay stuck, broke down with automobile problems here without somebody I know coming, seeing me, noticing me, and saying, hey man, let me help you. So it is very important for you to make relationships here. The locals will help you. Not saying that you're going to come here and be a burden, but there are going to be times where you need help, where you don't know something, where you don't know about something. And the people here will help you out. So it's best you make friends. And of course, if you're single, you can attend some fiestas, and they'll even introduce you to some family members that are single. So take advantage of that, guys. These are the biggest steps I took to get set up here in the Philippines. So I hope that you guys take notes. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell. I drop content every week so you can stay updated. Help me out. I want to spread the word and helping you guys get set up to live in the Philippines and all of the things that you need to know. Thank you very much.